Who left the fridge open?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the comedy movies everyone had low expectations for until they saw them.
What'd you do all last summer again?
I told you, I spent it with my uncle in Alaska hunting wolverines.
Number 30, Paddington.
My body had traveled very fast, but my heart, she took a little longer to arrive.
This ended up being the very definition of not judging a book by its cover, or in this case, a movie by its trailer. When Paddington was first announced, many assumed it would end up like others focused around CGI animals, largely forgettable. The promotions didn't help either, as they focused on physical comedy rather than jokes. However, Paddington ended up defying all preconceived notions. The quips were charming and wholesome, and the human cast played perfectly off the animated bear. While it's undoubtedly made for children, the plot wasn't dumbed down in the slightest, which led to adults enjoying it. Paddington serves as proof that just because something is made for kids doesn't mean it can't be funny as well.
I will never be like other people, but that's all right, because I'm a bear. A bear called Paddington.
Number 29, Friday.
Weed is from the earth. God put this here for me and you. Take advantage, man.
Friday helped push the boundaries of what a comedy could be. Audiences were skeptical about it at first due to its low budget and seemingly violent plot. However, Friday ended up being so much more than people expected. It portrayed life in rough neighborhoods in an entirely new way. While other films showcased darker elements of those areas, this one chose to highlight the more casual and lighthearted aspects of it. The amusing lines and endless hijinks are enough to keep anyone entertained. It also gave Ice Cube the chance to flex both his acting chops and his scriptwriting skills. With classic lines that are still quoted today, this has gone on to become one of the most iconic comedies of all time.
Now your father, he got game.
Don't nobody go in the bathroom for about 45 minutes.
Number 28, Good Boys.
My neighbor is a total nymphomaniac. Her boyfriend's always over.
She starts fires?
No, that's a pyromaniac. She's a nymphomaniac. Someone who has sex on land and sea.
On paper, a film about 3 middle school boys replacing a drone and going to a party doesn't seem like it has much going for it. However, Good Boys proved that a simple premise doesn't have to drag the final product down whatsoever. Equal parts chaotic misadventures and heartwarming moments, it ended up being a touching story about growing up and apart from childhood friends. While adults writing for kids can often come across as out of touch, the dialogue and modern references were both handled perfectly, creating the ultimate Gen Z coming-of-age flick. Between drug deals gone wrong and adult situations being seen through the eyes of innocent kids, Good Boys hits a perfect sweet spot between wholesome and hysterical.
Put it back. I'm being generous today.
We also have drugs. He was on to us.
Number 27, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Who are you guys?
We're you, dude!
No way. No way.
Yes way, Ted!
With humor being as subjective as it is, making a comedy of any kind is a huge risk. When your narrative is centered around one specific kind of joke, then you take the chance of the audience either loving or hating it. As Bill and Ted have a particularly unique way of speaking, the director was worried that it would be polarizing. However, the gamble paid off, and the time-traveling extravaganza became a hit. From the sheer hilarity of seeing historical figures in modern times, to the constant one-liners, this has something for everybody. The best part is that the film knows it's silly and doesn't take itself seriously, making it the ideal comfort watch.
How's it going, Royal Ugly Dudes? I'm the Earl of Preston. And I am the Duke of Ted.
Number 26, Deadpool.
Anyway, I got places to be, a face to fix, and bad guys to kill.
When thinking of the superhero genre, humor isn't usually the first thing that comes to mind. Considering how Deadpool was introduced in the X-Men series, fans were doubtful that they'd be able to get his character and absurdity correct in his solo cinematic debut. Luckily, the creators understood the assignment. From the opening credits, the fourth wall breaks were apparent, and they remained consistent throughout the plot. Everything from the music to the slapstick comedy came together to create one of the funniest films featuring a Marvel hero. Ryan Reynolds deserves special credit, delivering a stellar performance that makes it clear he was born to play the vigilante.
Let us go talk to the professor.
McAvoy or Stewart? These timelines are so confusing.
Number 25, Galaxy Quest.
By Grabthar's hammer, by the sons of Warvan, you shall be avenged.
Parodies are an often overlooked form of comedy. When done correctly, they serve as a love letter to the original work while also poking fun at various tropes. Galaxy Quest hit the nail on the head with their caricature of science fiction properties, particularly Star Trek. The tongue-in-cheek film wasn't afraid to take shots at the property and its fan base, while also including small details that proved the writer's superfan status. Despite containing inside jokes, it still holds up well on its own, meaning you can go in knowing nothing about the source material and still have a good time. Galaxy Quest has become widely beloved among comedy lovers in general, and is a prime example of a spoof done right.
What is this thing? I mean, it serves no useful purpose for there to be a bunch of choppy, crushy things in the middle of a hallway. No, I mean, we shouldn't have to do this. It makes no logical sense.
Number 24. Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Does Dewey seem unhappy to you? He's changed, I tell you, he's changed.
Biographies about musicians have always been popular, but they can have the tendency to blend together. Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story pointed this out by lampooning the major points that occurred in several different biopics. This was a daring move, as the incessant references could have come across as too much. However, the film struck a perfect balance between homage and originality. The musical performances alone are enough to set it apart from other spoofs about the industry. The subtle allusions to musical icons like Johnny Cash and Ray Charles are just the cherry on top. While it's considered a parody, the movie is so well written that you can still enjoy it even if you don't know all of the artists included.
Don't tell me what to say and what not to say, Paul McCartney.
I'm sick of you being so dark when I'm so impish and whimsical.
Number 23. Ted.
Let's all be best friends.
Oh my God! John, get away from that thing. Get over here, right now.
But Dad...
Get over here!
While Seth MacFarlane had already made a name for himself in television with shows like Family Guy, his involvement in film was minimal. That all changed when he directed, wrote, and starred in Ted, a movie about a teddy bear who comes to life. Expectations were low from the beginning. Many anticipated it would have the same comedic style as Family Guy. However, the end result was better than anyone could have imagined. The crude wit juxtaposed with the ridiculous concept resulted in a chaotically funny story. What's more impressive is that it managed to maintain its momentum without a single dull moment. The success of it helped people see MacFarlane and his work in an entirely new light.
Hey Johnny, I just had a great idea. Let's go get drunk and puke on cars from the overpass.
Oh, come on. I do not sound that much like Peter Griffin.
Number 22. Borat.
In my country, they would go crazy.
Oh my.
For these two, not so much.
Yes.
Wow.
Satire is one of the hardest forms of comedy to get right. You have to commit enough to pull it off, but you can't go so far that the audience thinks you agree with the position you're mocking. Sacha Baron Cohen took a huge chance with this showcase of what became one of his most iconic characters. Between the unscripted interviews with real people and his dedication to the outrageous bit, the whole project was a huge balancing act. His risks paid off in spades, incorporating both biting commentary and plenty of shock humor. It ended up becoming a hit among the very people it was making fun of. It's the ultimate evidence that dark jokes can be hilarious if done right.
Listen, pussycat, smile a bit.
All right. That's it. Okay.
I'm done.
We're finished. We have to leave.
Number 21. Blockers. Blockers sounded like an outright disaster. It's a sex comedy, which aren't often critical darlings.
That's what trying things is for, to teach you things. It's a contradiction.
It was directed by a writer-producer making her directorial debut, so things were likely to be rough around the edges. It starred John Cena, which seemed more like a meme than anything else. And even the title itself is derived from a dirty term. But the movie ended up being adored, not only for its humor, but also for its themes and tone.
What about a little chugging contest?
Yeah. Bring it.
It flipped the teen sex comedy on its head by focusing on the parents, and it treats the characters with empathy and respect, lending the story an undeniable sweetness. These are people, not caricatures, and that is all too rare within the genre.
It was just really nice what you said. It's good.
I mean it.
Thanks. I feel like Phil Jackson when he was coaching the Bulls.
Number 20, Hot Tub Time Machine. Thanks to that silly title, audiences knew exactly what they were getting into.
Check it out. They must have fixed it.
Come on!
This sounded like just another goofy guy comedy that would come and go without much fanfare. Even the lead billing of John Cusack seemed questionable, as he's not really the type of actor audiences would expect to lead a movie like this.
You know, it's not always about my emotional journey. It could be about yours.
But the script was surprisingly dexterous and intelligent, using its main characters as targets of satire. The characters were also far richer than anyone thought they would be. Everyone was well cast, and the sci-fi flick often leaned into its own ridiculousness.
Hurry up! I can see the 90s!
These aren't things viewers typically see in a gross-out comedy such as this, and it took critics and audiences by surprise.
Loser! Hey, John Lennon gets shot! Wait, that already happened?
Number 19, The Nice Guys.
Jesus Christ! One at a time!
You took the Lord's name in vain.
No, I didn't, Janet. I found it very useful, actually. Okay, Janet?
Some movies catch lightning in a bottle. This one had all the odds stacked against it, as it was coming out among a slew of other buddy comedies such as Dirty Grandpa and Ride Along 2. The competition was steep, and it seemed like it wouldn't stand out. Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe were an unconventional comedic duo, and many wondered if they would play well off one another. That answer ended up being a resounding yes. Between their chemistries and the tight script, The Nice Guys ended up stunning both audiences and critics. It's a pastiche of 1970s film with its own modern twist. It has the perfect blend of edginess and action, creating an experience that delighted audiences.
You know, nobody got hurt. People got hurt. I'm saying I think they died quickly, though, so I don't think that they got hurt.
Number 18, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
Tim Burton's eccentric, colorful, and somewhat morbid approach to comedy has resulted in a number of critical and box office successes. But back in 1988, the prospect of getting big laughs with a story about a deceased couple haunting their house was far from a done deal.
We want to get rid of the people who have moved in here. Barbara and I worked very hard on this house.
We probably wouldn't mind sharing the house with people who were
more like you used to be.
Given that Michael Keaton's most recent films hadn't set the box office on fire, and Winona Ryder wasn't yet a recognizable name, expectations for Burton's follow-up to Pee-wee's Big Adventure were not high. But the sensibilities of this cast and director were perfectly in tune, resulting in a quirky film that gets laughs from unexpected places. Number 17, Zombieland.
Rule number 1 for surviving Zombieland: cardio. When the virus struck, for obvious reasons, the first ones to go were the fatties.
At the time of Zombieland's release, many felt the zombie craze was dying down. Could a zombie comedy with an odd Twinkie fascination really resurrect the genre?
Tallahassee had a sick sense of humor when it came to zombies. Zombies aren't the most lovable creatures, but he really hated them. In fact, the only thing he was more obsessed with than killing zombies was finding a Twinkie.
Add to that the fact that it was director Ruben Fleischer's first feature film, and expectations were not exactly sky high. Yet this offbeat flick became one of the genre's biggest hits, and was hilarious to boot. Credit sharp writing, a solid cast, and some funny action sequences for its success. And of course, that Bill Murray cameo was a major plus. Mix it all together and you get a comedy that defies expectations.
Bill Murray, you're a zombie?
Oh, I'm on fire! Ouch!
You're not a zombie, you're talking. You're okay.
The hell I am!
Number 16, Girls Trip. Deft direction and a strong cast can turn a standard comedic premise into a really good movie. And as premises go, a group of friends going on a road trip is about as standard as you can get. But Regina Hall, Queen Latifah, Tiffany Haddish, and Jada Pinkett Smith made their characters believable and fresh.
I'm gonna be cool. I just want to say hi, that's all.
Wait, I'm gonna just say hello.
No, don't you say hello. No, Dina, don't do that. Remember, Ryan said this is her life.
Yes.
We shouldn't get involved.
With Haddish stealing the show as the hilarious Dina. Their friendship felt so real that audiences were only too happy to laugh along with them, and Girls Trip was a huge critical and commercial success. The result? A trip that's surprisingly fun to take.
Look, I get it. You're upset. I shouldn't be throwing things in a place of work.
Why are you making air quotes? This is a place of work.
Lesson learned. How you so understanding?
Number 15, Mean Girls. It was written by Tina Fey, produced by Lorne Michaels, and had Tim Meadows in the cast, so it's easy to assume this would be a run-of-the-mill SNL movie.
If you need anything or if you want to talk to somebody...
Thanks. Maybe some other time when my shirt isn't see-through.
Okay.
Turns out this teen comedy bucked the trend and was an original, thoughtful, and funny flick. The real surprise, though, is this 2004 film's cultural impact.
So you've actually never been to a real school before? Shut up. Shut up! I didn't say anything.
While Mean Girls is an apt title, Meme Girls would have worked as well. More than a decade later, the film's characters and one-liners live on in numerous memes. Endlessly quotable, relatable, and hilarious all at once, Mean Girls is timeless.
Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
Number 14, 21 Jump Street.
I think you idiots are perfect. You're officially transferred.
All right.
That's great. Well, where should we report to?
Down on Jump Street. 37 Jump Street. No, that doesn't sound right. Is it?
Turning an old TV show into a big screen action comedy has been done so many times that it's almost about as commonplace as, well, the undercover cop trope. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller's adaptation of 21 Jump Street involves both those things, yet it turned out to be incredibly entertaining, in no small part thanks to the on-screen chemistry between Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. It also had solid character development, just the right amount of self-referential humor, and one hell of a comedy and action-packed limo chase. In fact, the movie was such a hit that it spawned a solid sequel and almost a Men in Black crossover.
Man, you literally, this is the best thing ever.
Number 13, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. On the surface, this might look like your standard stoner comedy and road trip movie, but Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle is so much more than a one or two note joke fest.
Our parents came to this country, escaping persecution, poverty, and hunger. Hunger, Harold. They were very, very hungry. And they wanted to live in a land that treated them as equals. A land filled with hamburger stands.
Instead, it's a comedic odyssey through various communities that deals with some serious social issues, such as bigotry and racial profiling.
You want me to cross? You want me to cross? I will cross. Makes you happy, I will cross.
I'll do it.
It also offers an abundance of twists and turns along the way. As two friends who just want to reach White Castle, John Cho and Cal Penn are well-defined and sympathetic enough to keep the audience rooting for them, even if their goal is a fast food restaurant. The movie launched their careers and led to a sequel.
Where are you going?
Wherever God takes me.
Number 12, Game Night.
Guys, this is Madison.
Yeah, you brought her last week. You work at Forever 21, right?
No.
I work at Sephora. I'm confused.
Different girl. Same look, same voice.
Nice to meet you. You too.
What's yours?
That's a...
No, I think you're supposed to kiss it, right? Welcome.
The premise seems simple. A competitive couple participate in a game night with their friends, and unusual hijinks ensue. But despite sounding like a cookie-cutter comedy, this 2018 film is far from it. Instead, the team behind Horrible Bosses delivers enough twists and turns to keep the audience constantly guessing.
Gotta capture this moment, honey. Get in there. We'll take a quick little selfie here.
The charismatic ensemble cast manages the difficult trick of keeping viewers on the edge of their seats while also making them laugh. With popular party games incorporated into the characters' attempts to foil a kidnapping, this is genuinely a game night to remember. Number 11, Spy. The spy genre is one of the most easily spoofed. As such, audiences have been given countless spy parodies throughout the years, with seemingly diminishing returns.
Oh God, he went into a building.
Okay, well done, that's it. Time to call it a day.
But the winning magic of Paul Feig and Melissa McCarthy resulted in what is arguably the freshest and funniest spy spoof in recent memory.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Much of the praise stems from Feig's writing-directing and McCarthy's lead performance, but much can also be said for the supporting roles.
Got a big night ahead of us. Don't be afraid to clean yourself up, Amber. Take a shower is what I'm saying.
Rose Byrne's comedic timing and line delivery are spot on, and Jason Statham provides a self-aware performance that was gleefully outlandish and surprisingly hilarious. Spy made the spoof genre funny again.
I drove a car off a freeway on top of a train while I was on fire. Not the car. I was on fire.
Jesus, you're intense.
Number 10, Clerks.
Do you have that one with that guy who was in that movie that was out last year?
Clerks was shot on a paltry budget of about $30,000, which was rounded up by Kevin Smith taking money from his college fund, maxing out credit cards, and selling his comic books. It was also shot in black and white, and the story concerned the slacker employees of a convenience store just going about their business.
Are either one of these any good?
I don't watch movies.
Well, have you heard anything about either one of them?
I find it's best to stay out of other people's affairs.
In no world would this bare-bones movie have worked. But Smith's assured direction and sharp dialogue, combined with the winning performances of the inexperienced cast, helped turn Clerks into a cult classic. Many people saw themselves in the characters, and Smith was praised for capturing the general malaise of lost and directionless 20-somethings.
You know, there's a million fine-looking women in the world, dude, but they don't all bring you lasagna at work. Most of them just cheat on you.
Number 9, Home Alone. Home Alone is now a Christmas classic, but very few people had faith in the film back in 1990.
Look what you did, you little jerk!
Warner Brothers seemingly couldn't care less and shut down production over budgetary concerns, and Fox picked it up with a still measly $18 million budget.
What else could we be forgetting?
Kevin! And even though it managed to get made, no one was expecting it to perform particularly well. At least, not as well as it did.
Other than that, I'm in good shape.
For some reason, Home Alone really resonated with general audiences, and its gross slowly ballooned over the holiday season and went to an insane $476 million.
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
It stayed at number 1 for 12 consecutive weeks at the time, and became the third highest grossing movie ever, behind only Star Wars and E.T. It was the little Christmas movie that could.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Number 8, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Cake is my weakness, along with speed and strength. Huh. Strength is my weakness. Hey, quick question. How is strength my weakness?
The original Jumanji starring Robin Williams is a classic, so audiences could have been forgiving for viewing this belated sequel with trepidation. But with a fresh, modern twist on the premise, it was a surprisingly fun and side-splitting movie. While in 1995's Jumanji, a brother and sister get sucked into a board game, Welcome to the Jungle puts an entirely new cast inside a video game instead. Dwayne Johnson, Jack Black, Karen Gillan, and Kevin Hart all give great performances, and the fast-paced comedic action really works. It's since spawned a sequel of its own and is poised to become a franchise.
Come on, Alex! Why am I running so slow?
Number 7, The Other Guys. Much like spy comedies, the cop spoof genre is ancient and seemingly played out.
The city's dying for a hero. Is it? Yeah, what about 9 million socially conscious and unified citizens all just stepping up and doing their part?
But like Spy, The Other Guys proves that sheer talent, both behind and in front of the camera, can overcome even the most overplayed of genres. Adam McKay and Will Ferrell make for a great team, and they provided a stellar 1-2 punch with Step Brothers and The Other Guys, 2 movies that work far better than they had any right to.
Where are you going? I'm going upstairs. Because I'm going to put my nutsack on your drum set!
This buddy cop flick gleefully parodied the genre in numerous inventive ways, including the absolutely stellar opening sequence, and Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg made for an unexpectedly delightful duo.
Maybe we should, call ourselves the Febreze Brothers, because it's feeling so fresh right now. Right?
do another fresh start because I just wanted to punch you in the face.
In a sea of cop spoofs, The Other Guys is the other movie, the rare great one.
I did my first desk pop. It's a real thing, right?
Number 6, Bridesmaids. Bridesmaids was a monumental success, effortlessly crossing demographics and grossing nearly $300 million worldwide. The movie could be enjoyed by anyone, as it deftly mixed seemingly disparate genres.
I don't know what to say. You look... Megan, are you okay?
It was a raunchy comedy, a sentimental chick flick, and a touching buddy story, with each aspect given equal importance. It wasn't just a gross-out comedy with women, as it was so often billed.
Help me, I'm poor.
It was also an intelligently written and wonderfully performed film that took an honest look at its characters' lives and situations, crafting rich and mature themes amongst all the farting, puking, and pooping.
Well, you're really doing it, aren't you? You're just shitting in the street.
It also helped launch Melissa McCarthy's comedy career, which led to future Feig Marthy collabs like The Heat and Spy.
Life is good. I'm life and I'm gonna bite you in the ass.
Number 5, Tropic Thunder. Tropic Thunder is one of the smartest and funniest comedies of the 2000s, but no one really expected it.
You. Hit that director in the face.
Yes, the cast was stacked with the likes of Ben Stiller, Jack Black, and Robert Downey Jr., but the general concept of an action spoof had been well trod. And Ben Stiller's directorial filmography was spotty at best.
This chicken chip chop chop, ASAP! Only if it's still outside the perimeter, son! Missed him with that cracker jump time, we did him now, we did him now!
Tropic Thunder proved his first big hit as a director, scoring nearly $200 million and earning critical praise for its send-up of conceited Hollywood culture. Actors, producers, studio executives, the movie industry in general, nothing was safe from the biting and wide-reaching satire of Tropic Thunder. While many of the film's jokes wouldn't necessarily work today, there's no denying that Downey and Tom Cruise's performances are simply legendary, with Downey even scoring an Academy Award nomination for his efforts. Number 4, The 40-Year-Old Virgin. This one could have been so bad.
They were nice. You know, when you grab a woman's breast and you feel it and it feels like a bag of sand when you're touching it.
Bag of sand.
Based on the title, viewers could have been forgiven for expecting vulgar, lowbrow humor and stereotypes. The late Roger Ebert sure thought that's what he was in for, and was delighted to instead find it surprisingly insightful, with a good heart and a lovable hero.
You know what? I respect women. I love women. I respect them so much that I completely stay away from them.
Okay.
I have a very fulfilling life.
And now, I am making your silver pants blue.
Most moviegoers concurred, and the film became a substantial hit. Steve Carell was previously best known for his contributions to The Daily Show, and this film put both him and director-co-writer Judd Apatow firmly on the Hollywood map, for good reason.
Just stop calming me down and tell me what I should do.
Okay, we just take everything that's embarrassing and we move it out of here so it doesn't look like you live in Neverland Ranch.
Number 3, Napoleon Dynamite. Talk about coming out of nowhere.
What are you gonna do today, Napoleon?
Whatever I feel like I want to do. Gosh!
This quirky small-town comedy made for $400,000 by a team just out of college went on to make $46 million and become a cult hit, complete with merchandising and a bronze statue at 20th Century Fox Studios. With an unknown director and no known stars, no one expected much, and so were surprised by the film's heart and originality.
Got shocks, pegs, lucky. You ever take it off any sweet jumps? You got like 3 feet of air that time.
It was director Jared Hess and star John Heater's first feature film, and boy did they knock it out of the park. This simple personal story about ordinary high school students, told with irreverent humor, struck a chord with audiences and is still quoted today.
So what do you think?
It's pretty cool, I guess.
Oh, man, I wish I could go back in time. I'd take state.
This is pretty much the worst video ever made.
Number 2, The Hangover. Made for just $35 million, The Hangover starred Bradley Cooper, Ed Helms, and Zach Galifianakis, none of whom were particularly popular at the time.
This isn't the real Caesar's Palace, is it?
It was directed by Todd Phillips, who was known for his raunchy but somewhat underwhelming comedies, and the story came across as Dude, Where's My Car in Vegas.
I look like a nerdy hillbilly.
But the finished product was far more than the sum of its generic parts, as it was well shot and written, impeccably acted, and genuinely hilarious. The comedy turned its relatively unknown actors into movie stars.
Hey! There's a baby on board!
Someone just said baby.
Get out of the car!
It's a baby goat!
Many of its scenes and lines became iconic, and it became the 10th highest grossing movie of 2009 with $467 million. The Hangover series would see diminishing returns, but the first is a bona fide comedy classic.
No! In the face! In the face! No!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Superbad.
Gangsters, what's up guys?
Today, Superbad is fondly remembered as one of the greatest comedies of the 2000s. It helped launch careers, it revitalized the raunchy teen comedy, and it is unyieldingly hilarious from beginning to end credits. But no one would have guessed it.
Changed your name to McLovin? McLovin? What kind of a stupid name is that, Fogel? What, are you trying to be an Irish R&B singer?
Made for a minuscule $20 million, Superbad starred Michael Cera, who no one had really previously paid much attention to, and Jonah Hill, who was then only a minor part of Seth Rogen and Apatow's movie gang.
Let's do another one to me!
Not to mention, the script was written while Rogen and Evan Goldberg were teenagers. Nothing against teenage creativity, but they don't often pump out acclaimed million-dollar grossing Hollywood comedies. But Superbad captured the high school experience in all its awkward and zany glory, and it became one of the most important and cherished comedies of our time.
Hey Greg, why don't you go piss your pants again?
That was like 8 years ago, asshole.
People don't forget.
Which unexpectedly great comedy movie shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments.
And more like, what do you need, Les? Glasses? What?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.